Dwight Eisenhower's decision to back Bernard Montgomery over George Patton was one of the most consequential command choices of World War II. To many observers, it seemed cautious, political, even frustrating. Patton was aggressive, fast, and relentless. Montgomery was methodical, deliberate, and famously slow to move. Yet Eisenhower consistently sided with Montgomery when it mattered most, even when Patton delivered results. Understanding why requires looking beyond the battlefield and into the fragile structure holding the Allied war effort together. Eisenhower was not just a general. He was the supreme commander of a coalition. His greatest challenge was not defeating Germany alone, but keeping the British and American alliance unified under enormous pressure. From the beginning, Eisenhower believed that unity was more important than brilliance. A divided command, no matter how talented its generals, could lose the war. Montgomery represented Britain's military pride. After years of early defeats, he was seen by the British public and leadership as their most important battlefield symbol. Removing him or sidelining him in favor of an American commander like Patton risked political backlash in London and resentment within British ranks. Eisenhower understood that if Britain felt marginalized, cooperation could fracture at the worst possible time. Patton, by contrast, was a political liability. He was openly critical of allies, dismissive of diplomacy, and careless with words. His outbursts, controversial statements, and refusal to soften his views repeatedly forced Eisenhower into damage control. While Patton inspired troops, he terrified politicians. Eisenhower could trust Montgomery to stay within political boundaries. He could never fully trust Patton to do the same. There was also a fundamental difference in philosophy. Eisenhower favored a broad front strategy, advancing steadily across Western Europe to maintain pressure everywhere and avoid catastrophic setbacks. Montgomery preferred concentrated, carefully planned operations with overwhelming force. Patton wanted speed above all else, believing momentum could shatter the enemy before they could recover. To Eisenhower, Montgomery's approach felt safer. It minimized the risk of disaster. A failed bold thrust could isolate armies, break supply lines, and hand the Germans a chance to regroup. Eisenhower feared that Patton's style, while spectacular when it worked, carried risks the alliance could not afford. Operation Market Garden exposed the flaws in this thinking. Eisenhower backed Montgomery's ambitious plan to leap across the Rhine and end the war quickly. Patton opposed it, favoring continued pressure and flexibility. When Market Garden failed, the cost was enormous. Yet even then, Eisenhower did not reverse course or elevate Patton above Montgomery. Instead, he absorbed the failure and pressed on. Why? Because changing command dynamics after such a setback could have been more damaging than the failure itself. Eisenhower believed stability mattered more than assigning blame. Removing Montgomery or openly favoring Patton would have reignited Allied tensions, especially with British leadership already sensitive to American dominance. There was also Eisenhower's personal leadership style. He believed his role was to coordinate, not dominate. Patton often acted like a commander who should be in charge. Montgomery, despite his ego, accepted Eisenhower's authority as supreme commander. That mattered. Eisenhower needed generals who would follow the structure, not challenge it. The cost of this choice was speed. Patton's rapid advances in France showed what aggressive maneuver warfare could achieve. Many historians argue that if Patton had been given priority in fuel and freedom of action, the war in Europe might have ended sooner. Instead, resources were spread evenly, opportunities narrowed, and Germany was given time to mount its final counteroffensive in the Ardennes. Eisenhower accepted this cost. He believed a slower victory was preferable to a risky one that might fracture the alliance or end in disaster. From his perspective, winning the war required not just defeating Germany, but doing so in a way that preserved post-war unity among the Allies. In the end, Eisenhower's choice was not about who was the better battlefield commander. It was about who best fit the political and strategic reality of coalition warfare. Montgomery was predictable, controllable, and politically safe. Patton was brilliant, dangerous, and impossible to manage. History continues to debate whether Eisenhower was right. What is clear is that his decision shaped the final year of the war. It avoided internal collapse but sacrificed momentum. It ensured unity but delayed victory. Eisenhower chose stability over speed, caution over brilliance, and alliance politics over battlefield audacity. It was a choice that helped win the war, but at a cost that still fuels debate today.